The Sphinx speaks about ascended masters. Today's subject is going to upset many, but needs to be discussed, as the worship of these masters is getting in the way of real progress. What are ascended masters, and what do you think they are? Some of them actually had lifetimes upon earth, some didn't. This is a fact for many of the beings that are giving you messages. Some of these masters have been on earth and gone through the process what we would call transforming the physical body into light. Jesus is one of the examples. Many others though have not completed this process, and their knowledge of this process is limited in a personal way. Not being on earth at this time is also a factor that can be taken into consideration, as many of these masters were here in a time that was different from yours. As such, we can see that the real understanding of your circumstances is a bit different than what they experienced, so full understanding is in a way not possible. This applies certainly to beings that have never been to Earth. When reading their messages, you should take this into consideration, as their understanding is coming from a loving position and compassion, but their understanding is limited, as they do not have the experience of Earth lifetimes. This is why many can bring you uplifting messages as to what you should be doing, how to act and more. But in reality they really don't know everything, and some of what they are saying should be considered as not to be true. The reason you are also in a way almost addicted to these messages is because it is a human feeling or need to feel good. Good about yourself, good about others, feeling good about what you are doing, and certainly feeling good about what they say is your future. This time after this shift is new for every being out there, ascended masters, angels, and in fact every being that is not on earth at this time. They have no experience with these new energies that the earth is going through, that you are going through, and yet their messages are still the same. Haven't you noticed this? Guidance is something, but actual steps as to how to create real change in the fastest way possible is not really coming through any of them. Real change has to come from all of you, but this change that is happening is only happening in a small part of you, the human part. And even that change is in a way a reality that is being dreamed up without real understanding of even the reality you exist in within this moment. It is good to set goals, to know that you can work towards something, but what is it you are really working towards? What is the end goal? And how can you set the end goal? By using smaller goals to get there. Is it your goal to keep on reincarnating upon Earth lifetime after lifetime, and in this way assist to make this world a better place? Is it your goal to lead the incarnation cycle, and in this way assist to make this world a better place? Or is it your goal to just keep on following the flow and see where you end up? You will have to remember that each time you incarnate it will be without memory. This is something that has not changed. So each lifetime you will still go through an awakening period, through almost everything that you have gone through in this lifetime. In this way you also have to think what it means to become a full source being upon Earth. For many the understanding is that they need to connect to Source, and this is what will be the ultimate understanding. Yet, connecting with Source will never be full understanding, as you still go through the human understanding. If you become Source upon Earth, full understanding is present, as the human becomes full Source, and in this way the human mind is integrated, dissolved in a way into Source, and you become a Source being upon Earth, being able to understand and see from a Source level. Now for many this is far away, but yet it is an attainable goal at this time. Becoming a full Source being also means surpassing the limitation of the physical body and the physical reality, allowing you to make choices without those limitations, and allowing you to actually create from a Source reality instead of the human reality. When we speak about one of the masters that walked the earth, we mention Jesus a lot, as he is one of the examples that is known by many. He was able to go through the transformation and set the example. Now how do you think he spent his days? He studied with the many masters that were present upon earth, and some that were not on earth. He was prepared for his mission through many initiations and activations. Yet, even though many of you see him as a great teacher, an example of what is possible, not many of you have set the goal to follow in his footsteps. He didn't spend his day thinking if he was loving or compassionate enough, or dreaming about the change on earth he wanted to see. He spent almost every hour of his life getting ready to set the example, taking all the steps necessary to complete his goal, his mission. And he did this together with many others who would be there to assist him. Many only know the stories and feel his energies as they are at this moment, thinking they know the person Jesus as he was walking the earth, healing others, preaching and teaching some of what he knew to others. Many have an idealized version of Jesus when they think about him as he was just as human as everyone else, just as much able to be angry, to dislike, to love, to be compassionate, and everything else that you, as humans, represent. He didn't come to earth all-knowing. He had to learn just like everyone else. He went through the awakening process just like everyone else. If you would meet him on the street right now, as he was in his incarnation as Jesus, you would pass him by and not notice anything, not think of him as special or advanced, or even more loving and compassionate than others. He was a regular human, if we can call it that. No one really special except for the fact that he came together with others, and they had a goal that was different from all others on earth at that time. It didn't come easy to him. He didn't accept his mission easy. Yes, he got tired sometimes of all that he needed to do to accomplish the goal, not just for himself, but for all of you. There were times where he wanted to quit his mission, to walk away, and he did in fact do this a couple of times. Yet, he always returned and went on preparing himself for his mission. Why would his mission be the transformation into a source being? What was he telling all of you? He was showing the way. Many see this and know this, yet not many follow his way. In fact, we can count the ones that do on one hand. This is why, in a way, the many messages that are coming through are not mentioning any of this. Many of the messages are translated according to the belief system of the messenger and the channeler. Both are involved in a way, as many of the beings channeled are not fully knowledgeable, as the experience of the transformation into a source being has not been completed by many of them. They did not complete it on earth, and they did not complete it where they are now. The reason they are called ascended masters is that, in a way, that to have a greater overview than most humans. That does, however, not include the human experience you have. Also noticeable for many should be the fact that messages are always more or less according to the belief system of the channeler. As a being is giving a message, it is done through a telepathic energy. This needs to be translated through the human language and the way the human uses their words and their knowledge of their own language. So a message can be translated in many different ways. For example, how you are addressed is dependent upon the channeler, not really the being that is channeled. It is how the energy is experienced by the channeler and how the channeler thinks about how they would like to be addressed. Many will use words like dear ones and beloved ones, and end their message with the words, we love you, I love you, or similar wordings. You have to remember that the real message does not contain words. The words come in because the energy message is being translated through the human understanding, but also human attachments and belief systems. You have to remember that many of these masters, or many other beings out there, not actually communicate through words, but through telepathic exchanges. There is not really a thought system present like the thought system you have as humans. Many of the beings that you consider ascended masters and angels are in fact just like you, source beings that are here in this earth reality. Some have incarnated, others have not. Some are just staying within the earth reality to assist, others are attached to this earth reality and have not yet ascended beyond it, just like you. They have taken on certain roles to assist you from the higher dimensions within your earth reality, as many of you have taken on roles upon earth at this time. The ascended masters have a bit bigger role, so to speak, as they have more experience with the energies and frequencies of energies that are now flowing to earth, yet none of them has experienced any of the changes that you are going through at this moment. Some of them have ascended all the way